Hi, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let me introduce myself first. I am Debbie Shadid. I am a business growth coach for life coaches. I'm founder of the Business Building Boutique for new life coaches. I help them get more clients by telling them what to do and showing them how to do it. So I am real heavy into strategy about marketing, helping you understand your core message, and then showing you what you need to do, whether it's technology, social media, all the things you need to do to design a program that works, to create a price that converts, all those pieces. So today I want to talk to you about Canva. This is one of the tools that I love the most, and I want to show you the inside of my Canva. We're going to go step by step. I'm going to show you the things that maybe some of you guys already know. Then I'm going to show you some things that you probably don't know that will make using Canva much easier. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a template to use yourself for a coaching brochure. Now, I don't know anyone who has a coaching brochure. I think I'm the only person. Unless you've already worked with me, then you've used my coaching brochure template. One of the things that I do when I work with people is I give them access to all of my Canva templates that are designed specifically for coaches. So let me share my screen. The first thing that I want to do as we go through this is I want to show you how to, if you don't already have a brand, I want to show you how to get some colors. Now, I highly recommend that you work with somebody on branding. And when we work together, I help you figure out what your personal brand is. I'll talk to you for a minute about branding. I'll show you this piece, and then we're going to get into Canva, and I'm going to set up the brand kit and show you then how to put it into action. What I want to say about branding is this. Your business brand is a personal reflection of you. It is the thing that people see first about you. Before they ever talk to you, they are attracted to what they visually see. I call it the curb appeal of your business. So if you want to have good curb appeal and you're a homeowner, what would you do? You'd make sure that it looks really good on the outside. And you don't have to spend a lot of money in that. One of the ways that you do that is that you get really good at Canva, and you have just put some of the practices into place that I'm going to tell you today about what makes something look high end. For those of you who don't know, my background is, prior to coaching coaches, was that I had a wedding magazine. So for 18 years, I helped people design ads, design marketing, design websites. I worked on branding, on writing copy, all those things. So I know aesthetically what really looks good. And in the wedding business, aesthetics really matter. So I'm going to show you in Canva some things that will take you from looking homemade to something that looks much more elevated. And of course, when you have an elevated brand look, you're going to attract more of your ideal client. Now, just to make a note, as I look away, I'm looking at the list of things that I want to make sure that I tell you today. So I'm not looking away from you, but we're going to start with this. This is not inside of Canva, but if by chance you do not already have branding done, I'm going to show you a quick hack to do that. Now, this is called Adobe Color. It's a free tool. And what you will do is you will go in there and you will import a picture. You'll put a picture right here, okay? And you'll grab the picture that you want. Hopefully I can find the same picture that I just used. If not, I guess it doesn't really matter. You'll upload a picture. Okay, that's a different picture. And when you upload the picture, you see these dots move around. And so you could create a color palette. Now, your color palette is going to be what you use on everything going forward. And if you already have business branding, then you will have a color palette with these numbers on here. These numbers are the numbers that we're going to put into Canva that will help you create the same color everywhere. Once you have those numbers can be used for anything you want to use, anything you want to create, whether it be on a large scale like a billboard, which I know you're not going to do, but also on a small scale, or when you work with somebody on your website, you'll give them these numbers and then everything looks exactly the same. So if you don't have that and you want to sort of create a color palette that matches the pictures you have, and I want you to keep this color palette for years. So it's not going to be, you're not going to be changing all the time, but again, this is sort of a quick hack to get us started today. And so you move these little dots around until you find colors that you love, that you feel like work together. I like for you to have a variety of colors, and I also like for you to have light colors and dark colors. So you're just going to move this around until you find a color combination that kind of makes sense. We're sort of, again, just playing very quickly, but you want to have dark and light colors all the way around. So maybe we'll want to find a little bit lighter pink, maybe on one of these. Let me see if I can find one somewhere in here that's a pink. Okay, we're just going to call it good. You guys could pick any colors that you want. But what you'll notice is there's something that's dark enough here that could be like black. This will essentially be your black. There's a couple of bright colors and then a couple of lighter colors that you can use. Now, if we were doing this and I was helping with your own branding, we would go much deeper than this. So what I want you to do is then take a screenshot. Whoops, excuse me. I want you to take a screenshot of these colors, okay? Now, I am going to go into Canva next, okay? And what we're going to do, this is the paid version of Canva. I will include a link for you to go to the professional version of Canva. Let me look and see. It is, I don't know. I'd have to look up the price, but I think it's around $10, $12, something like that a month. It is very worth it. One of the things that you get when you do professional Canva is that you're able to create this brand kit. That is what we're going to do today. These are some examples from other branding that I did. I am going to delete the brand kits that are here. This is how we'll do that. And we are going to create a new brand kit. All right. So I am going to start add a brand kit. This is my business brand kit, so we don't want to mess with that. And this is going to be the test kit. All right. And if you guys will bear with me for just a minute, I'm going to go and find that screenshot that I took with those colors. And then I'm going to reshare. Sorry, I got a lot going on here. Let me reshare my screen and we'll go back into Canva and I will show you how to start your brand kit. All right. So down here is your colors. And let me move that aside. We want to start adding the colors. Remember on that screenshot. So we have number BOADA7. Okay, that's that first gray color. Then we're going to add a second color. And it is going to be DECCDD. All right, just bear with me for a second till we get this. And then it's 03588C. You guys could actually be doing this along with me. If you want to stop and set up your Canva, you can sort of stop and start along with me. All right, let me add the last color in. All right, there we go. So there is your brand color palette that we just set up based on the picture that I selected, okay? Then I want you to select your fonts. You can have fonts that your designer gave to you, your graphic designer that did your brand gave to you. I have those already, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some popular fonts that you could use for your brand. The heading font is going to be something with feet on it like this, okay? That is what you see at a heading, and it's a large display font, okay? Then you're going to pick something out that would be, I say typically, a script font, okay? I'm going to pick Brittany. Brittany is one that is easy to read for a script, and it is in anything that we would type today, we'll be able to see and clearly be able to read it. So I will pick then the third one I'm going to pick is Railway. These are three kind of, and Railway comes in heavy, thin, or regular. So that's kind of nice to have some options there. All right. So we've got Railway picked as our fonts. And just so you can see, You can also here adjust the size that you want. So if you don't want that to be 31, you could make that be 28. And so every time you go to use that heading, the sizing of it would be 28 or 24. The sizing of your Brittany will be 18 and your body will be 12. Now you can upload custom fonts if you want to as well. Then if you had logos, which we're going to go ahead and use my logo, you would add in your logo right here, okay? We are going to use the logos that I currently have in Canva already, just to make this easier. All right, let's go back over. We're going to get ready, and I am going to start showing you how this works. So once your brand is in there, then we're going to go and we're going to pick a template. And I don't have this pre-planned, you guys. I'm going to walk you through templates just as if you were deciding to do something. So we're going to start with a social media post, and let's just start with Instagram. Let's find an Instagram post. What I want to say to you is that once you sort of decide on a style for you, then you sort of want to keep consistent with the style. So let's just say you looked at this and you decided you liked that. What I want you to notice about this is it's very clean and it has straight lines. Maybe you decide that you're going to use a style that has some of these elements in it. You guys have probably seen that where there's like curves in it. So you would pick one and you'd want to be consistent in using ones with curves in it. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but what makes a brand looks very beautiful on an Instagram page is that things look consistent. The way that the shapes, the flow of the way that you do things are consistent, okay? So let's pick something that is consistent. And I'm going to start with this one. Let's say that this was the first template that you decide to use. And by the way, when you pick a template, lots of other choices that are very similar. Canva really helps you by showing you what's very similar for you to select. Okay. So when you click on this, the first thing that's going to happen is that you can change the background color. Now, remember, there was my brand, and we're going to change to this test brand, the one that I just did. So here's the palette up here. Something else that you might notice is that it also comes up with the colors that are actually in the photo. I want to caution you to not be pulling colors out of the photos because I want you to be having everything match. And so really try to stick to this color palette and maybe a white or something, maybe solid black. Keep things really consistent. I typically like you to have between 5 and 7 colors in your color palette. Again, maybe 3 dark and 3 light. All right, so we're going to stick with this. We're going to make this right here purple. Okay, when you go to look for pictures, you can, it's telling us we just drag the photo over. You could go, this is a little hint here. This is a vertical photo. So you can do vertical or horizontal, but it's going to be easier for you to fit something in that if you go with what's there. So vertical, mature woman. I hate to put mature woman, you guys, but I know from doing enough Instagram or enough Canva, that's going to be what you're going to find. So let's say you are doing something, you find a woman in here that fits. And since this is going to be a testimonial, all right, we find somebody, let's put this lady in here, okay? We put her in here, we scoot it over, and now she fits into the box. Another kind of fun thing that you'll find out is that you could also match this. Let's go and find this background color right here. Let's see what this number is. D-E-C-C-D-D. Let me write that down. D-E-C-C-D-D. Was that right, you guys? D-E-C-C-D-D. All right, so when we go back to photos, this is one of those hacks that I promise you've never heard of before. You put add a new color and you put in D-E-C-C-D-D. All right, and you put apply. Now we can say we want a vertical picture in that color, and we're going to apply the filter, and everything that comes up that is a woman that somehow matches that color. See, vertical pictures only. Now here is your selection. So you can really find things that are on brand for you that would actually match very well with what you're doing. So another way to sort of find things that work well and blend well with your brand, all of these blend well. They're the same sort of color tone with your brand because you have added that color in there, okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and leave that one. Now, if this was a testimonial, we're going to change to the fonts that were in your brand kit. See here, test kit. What we selected was Brittany, okay? Now, when you put Brittany in there, we're going to change the color. Remember, here's your colors. Let's change it to that color. And what I noticed right off the bat is that that writing is too big. This is how you'll make the writing smaller. Okay, here we go. And we'll want to change this little box right here, the color here. We can change it to any of these. Let's just kind of maybe not have the perfect design, but let's just change some colors, okay? Then you want to change this to your font, which is Railway, okay? Sometimes, if you want to go back and look, undo you guys. Sometimes when you change to your font, you might find that whatever you have in there, the text actually won't fit and you'll have to readjust the square, maybe by pulling it a little bit bigger this way or this way. Okay, I'm going to change it back to the Railway. Okay, something else that's really a super great hack to see is this. This is grouped together. Now, a lot of times people find this very difficult because let's just say, whoops, I should spell my name correctly. We had something that did not fit in this space. You see how little this space is right here? It would be difficult to make all that work the way you wanted to. And when you start getting into checklists or worksheets, sometimes the letters don't all fit in those spaces. When you see the dotted lines, you can go up here and say ungroup. Click the ungroup. Click outside of this section. Do you see how it ungrouped it? And now I can move this. I could make this anything I wanted it to be. So you could make this even bigger. You see that? So that you can fit anything in that box. So you can essentially redesign this. One thing I want to make note here is that if you try to resize this picture that's already here and you pull this way, do you see how it's going to grow outside of that box? It's going to be bigger than the box, okay? So what you can do is go back, but if you wanted to make this smaller and make it keep the same proportions, you just push in on this, okay? You see what I'm saying? It makes it the same proportion. So we're just going to push in. Let's imagine we're going to do it like that, all right? This could be anything else. You could use this same template and you could change it into a things you should know. Whoops. Okay, something like that. You could change that, and then you could change this. You could delete this. You could make this into any kind of quote or fact or anything you wanted to. This, by the way, you guys, what's coming up right here is I use Grammarly software checker. So it's telling me that there's mistakes in this, even though this is what came inside the template, there's mistakes in this. That's what you see coming up. And then of course you can put your website in here as well. So you would put your website link in here. All right, a couple other things that I want to show you is that right there. Do you see how the line comes up and it tells you when something is centered? Like right there, it's dotted. Now we know it's centered in this part. Okay, you want to use this tool to your advantage and center things. Now we know it's equally centered within that square. Okay. Now we might want to adjust this because we can see that's not equal. So you see that's that. You can move this box if you want to. This box right here, we could move it down. And now you see how it's all lined up perfectly, okay? Now I realize what we're doing right here maybe doesn't look the best. You could also change this to your display font, and we could make that smaller so that it would fit, okay? One of the keys to having something that really looks nice and professional on any graphic that you do is that you want to have what's called breathing space around it. You don't want to have your words so close to the edge, right? It's hard to read that. You want to make things to where it's easy. And all of these templates give you a guide. You see, it came up with that square because it's not wanting you to go all the way to the edge either. So you want to keep things to where you can read all of it very easily, okay? Here's another kind of fun little hack that you might not know. This right here is the spacing. So you could make your lines bigger. Do you see? Let me highlight all this, highlight this, and I'm going to make the lines more spaced out, okay? Do you see this? You just made the lines more spaced out. Of course, that doesn't look good in here, but that's what that is. You could go back to normal. You can also take the letters, you see that, and you can space them out. Let me highlight this first. This little thing is getting in my way. There we go. Now you can space this out, look. Right? So I realize we're getting things out of order here, but I'm just making you see all of how this works. So that could be, get this lined up and looking a little bit better, maybe the way that you want to do this. Okay. Now you've spaced this out. This is a little crowded, so this would be moved in this way. So it's almost the same size as this. Maybe you decide that this needs to be just slightly wider, which I actually think it does look better that way. So it's more evenly proportioned. That could be an example for you. Something else I'd look at is this needs to be changed to the font that we selected. This railway right here can be made bold, or it can be made italic. Some of them can't and some of them can't. See, this can't be made italic because it's not one of the options with that font. But now I think that that looks pretty good for us just playing around. Here's the second thing that you can do. If you're going to do Instagram posts, you want to do a whole bunch of them at one time. You want to have a whole bunch of templates that you can use over and over again. So we're going to take this one. I'm going to go down here and we are going to duplicate this, okay? So now we have two of the exact same thing. We're on the second one. See, it's highlighted right here. Now we're going to take this second one and we're just going to make a template that is the same template in our colors. Maybe you decide that we'll use white as the letters, let's say, and you're going to use a pink heading, okay? And you're going to use the purple box. I don't know, that doesn't look very good together, does it? I'm just showing you all the ropes here. This needs to be changed to, right now it's black. You want to change it to the color that matches. Okay, so now you have two that you can use. This I realize is not the right color either because it's black and that is not one of our brand colors. This is our black that we're using. It's a dark purple. Okay, so now you have two of the same thing. We're going to take this again and we're going to duplicate this page. So now you change it again to another set of colors that you have, and you decide that you're going to do, let's pretend like we've added white to our letters so that I can just kind of show you what this would look like in white. White, okay. This whole thing could be white. So now you have three templates that are exactly the same. And if you even wanted to go further and have, like if you like this whole look with just two colors, you could have all of the templates be the same sort of pattern. So now this one's just the two color. This one could be just the two color. Maybe you like that sort of solid look. You duplicate the page again, and now we do another one, or maybe it's the blue, okay? So now you have a purple one, the light purple, the gray. Now maybe you decide you're going to do the dark color, okay? This actually looks pretty cool, you guys. I wonder how this is going to look in white. Let's just experiment. This actually looks really good, if I do say so myself. It gives us very consistent look with these. I don't think the white's going to look very good on here. It's too hard to read. So I probably, if this was me, I would not recommend that you guys do it that way, because the white is a little bit hard to read. So you would have, if you were going to do this and have multiple graphics that you could use on Instagram over and over and over again, you could do this, and now you have 5 graphics that are ready for you to use over and over and over again, okay? Here's the lineup of them. Look at how great those look. Again, if you want to change the picture, you go over here to Photos. You could change the color if you wanted to. We do happen to know that that color matches the color palette, so chances are it's going to match any of the ones that you have. So you'll just find another picture, any of the pictures that you have, and drag one picture over. I don't know which picture to use, but we're just going to pick that one. So you could change all the pictures on these that fast, you guys, and have a whole collection of, whoops, let me change that to white so those are consistent. And have a whole collection of graphics that you could use for Instagram. Another way that you can look at those is to look all like this. So now you have 5 graphics. This is how all of your stuff looks perfect, looks the same. I want you to name these as templates for Instagram, okay? That's the way that you would use that. If you want to download those, you're going to download it as a PNG for Instagram, and you can download all of the pages or just one page at a time, okay? Couple more things that I want you to know, whoops, is when you go over here, here are your templates, okay? What you can do to take these exact same templates and use them again, since it's a template, what I want you to do is go File, and I want you to make a copy of them. And let's decide we're going to call this like April Instagram post. Okay. So now you'll use those templates, the master templates, and you can change these, all of the copy and the pictures, right? You'll just go through, use the same posts as before. Maybe we'll decide that we're going to use one of these other colors, which is, whoops, which is 03588C. We're going to go back here to pictures. Oh, 3588C. Okay. And now we're going to use those pictures. Okay. And we're going to look for women in those pictures. And now we have in the March or the April collection of Instagram posts, maybe we decide we're going to use some of these pictures in that color brand. And so we pick out somebody, this one, oh Lord, not that one, lady in her swimsuit. That's not very good. We pick out one of these, which is part of your template, your color palette. I would say that this, as we look at this together, is probably not a great choice because most of these have very blue backgrounds, and I don't think that looks very good. So maybe that's not the right one to use. Maybe on some of the graphics, it would look good that you do. Maybe, let me just see. Is there one that might be better? Like maybe that one's better for you. So this isn't always going to be perfect, but you know, that looks good. And that would again go with all of the pictures that you have along the way. But the idea is then once you make your change, you're just changing the words, okay, that you've got here. Oops. Always just use the back arrow if you're stuck. And you just change a few words. If that's all the words that you had in this particular post, you would just make sure that you have it centered. Okay, centered in this, okay, so that it lines up well, it looks nice, and then you've got the same breathing space. Any of these could be made whatever size. If you had a smaller square like this, maybe you would decide to make the writing bigger. Highlight this first, and maybe you decide to make the writing bigger so that it actually fills up more space. And you can move this like this. When it's on the double arrows like that, this is how you move something, the whole thing. So maybe that works better, where you've made it bigger and you've kept the proportions so that it's similar size to these other ones. All right. That's what you're going to do when you do your posts every single month once you create your templates. Let me show you how to resize something. Let's say you wanted to use these for Instagram stories, this exact same template. You would do copy and you would resize. And now you have to go and sort of adjust things. See, here's your boxes again. Maybe you would decide that you're going to sort of navigate this a little bit, move it around. We're going to have to figure out how this works. Maybe it won't work exactly right, because maybe you decide you're going to make this little box a square, okay? Because the size of the template has changed, okay? So you're going to turn this into a square. Again, use your little guide to make it fit in the middle, okay? This is the middle of the page, and I don't have this lined up. There we go. This right here, copy. Maybe you decide you need to make that the same size, okay, as the photo. We don't have this exactly lined up. You guys can see that. There we go. And as you look at this, maybe you also decide that this copy right here needs to be centered. I'm going to turn this into a different color so that we can see this a little bit better on this one, because the white with the purple example is not the best example. So I'm going to use it like this. So this, if this was your Instagram story, it's not lined up. Okay, we probably would want to make this a little bit bigger to be able to read it. Scoot this up. Remember, you've got within this whole little box, it's telling you what the guide is of how big it should be. This little box right here, you guys, is not centered on this page. There we go. Now it's centered. And that's centered again, which also means this needs to be centered. Okay. So now you have one that is set up for an Instagram story. So you would put this as your template for Instagram story. All right. Now, when we go back down here and we look at the templates that you already have, if you like the way this one is set up, then let's go ahead and delete. Let's go ahead and delete the pages that are there, because we've resized them and reorganized them. And what we're going to do right here is we're going to actually duplicate this one. Okay, let's just duplicate it in the 5 that we had there. Okay, and you're just going to go through here on each one of these, and now you're going to change to the colors that we have on the other templates. White, 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 and white. Okay, going to go to the next one, and you're going to do the same thing. The blue with the white. I don't need to do any more of these. I know that you get the point of what I am doing. Now you have Instagram templates and you have story templates, and they all match very well. All right, there is that. If you want to do an Instagram story that has multiple pages in it, and let's say you like this one, you could go down here. Okay, we're going to click on this one, and you could duplicate this blue page and duplicate. Let's say you're going to do five slides on a story. Okay, so now you have 5 of these as your templates. Okay, and when you go to use these as your template, you will go up here and you will make a copy, and then this will become your April Instagram stories. You see what I'm doing, you guys? I'm keeping a and you could use the same template for a testimonial. Back to that. Remember, if you want to have the letters closer together, you scoot them together like that. If you had more than one line, you could use the anchor, the text box, to either move the line up to the top or down, either way. So maybe you decide you want to do it like that. This, again, get it all centered up. There we go. This would need to be centered again. See how it's all balanced. I want to show you something else that I have not shown you, which is this over here, your transparency grid. This actually makes something, let me click on this, makes something transparent. So sometimes you've seen that to where in the background of something, let me grab a picture and just show you by example. Let's say it's this. Let's say we make this as the whole background to this, which is not going to look very good. The way that you do that, let's say we're going to center this. The way that you do that is you tell this that the photo that I just put on top there goes to the back. And now everything is on top of it. So in this case, we probably would change the writing again so that we could see what we're doing. This picture I probably would make dark again, back to darker, okay? And I'll show you how this is going to work. Just give me just a second. When you click on this photo that we just put on top, you could make that transparent. You guys have seen that too, where something's become transparent in the back. You'll have to tweak around. Again, if you're going to make that transparent, we probably need to go back and make all this dark. This font right here would need to be bold for it to be able to show up on there, but that's how you can have a transparent background on something else. So when you're right here, you can duplicate a page right here. This could be also the way you do it. You can add in a blank page. So maybe you decide this is the cover of your story and these are your blank pages. When you do a design with a blank page, you go over here to your text, and when you have your fonts loaded in, remember this is our heading font, this is the Brittany, and this is the body font. So you can pull these over here. I clicked a text line. You want to probably make this bigger so that you could read it, probably even bigger than that. Change that to something that we could read. There we go, hello. Change the color of that, still needs to be bigger. If this wasn't something that you were making yourself from a plain graphic, then you would maybe add the body text. Let's go ahead and make that bigger. And let's just say you're just typing right here, okay? Typing right here. This is just going to be, okay? Let's say this is now the second slide to your Instagram story, whatever this is. It could be something about what you do or how you coach. This is the second page, and you want to add another page to your story. This time you want to make the background the blue color. Then you could still change the white, change this to the lighter color. So now you have a story that could have 3 pages. Okay. So all of your stories could be here together. This is the way that you could see all of your April Instagram stories. You could look at them at once like this, all of them. You could go through here and decide, I don't think I like this one in my Instagram stories. I'm going to delete this template. or I'm sorry, delete this slide. So you could delete that right there. And then I think I'm going to duplicate this one again, and I'm going to turn this one into something else. This is the fastest way to be able to do lots and lots of things all at one time. All right, now you can imagine that you have templates for Instagram stories, templates for Instagram that you can use over and over and over again every month. You sit down and you do your Instagram and you do it all at one time. And this is your April posts. And then you would just duplicate the template right here. It would say, make a copy. You'd make a copy of that and you would change it. And it would be your May Instagram stories, something like that. All right, if you want to look for another project, let's find one more thing that is similar to that. I'm going to look for a presentation. When I say that you want to keep things similar, now we had just the straight lines with that, you'll want to look for something that has the same sort of feeling that is straight lines. All right, with that, maybe that little line on there, the little box on there. Let's look for just a second. Something that might be similar. Okay, we're just going to use this one just for kicks because this has a straight line on it. Okay, and I'm going to customize this template. And the first thing we're going to start doing is changing the colors. Okay, when I start with a brand new template, the very first thing that I do is I change all of it to be in my colors. Remember what you do here when they're dotted lines together, you ungroup them. So you're not stuck trying to fit. So you can move these around. You're not stuck trying to fit things right in that particular place. So, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to change just the letters to this and just the letters to this and this little line, which can be made thicker. Did you all see that? It can be made thicker or thinner. Okay, I'm going to change it back to thinner. You can add a page. You can duplicate the page. So let's say you duplicate the page. You can have anything you want on these slides. So you can move the text around. This could be like, your problem. And then you could have this be like this. And look, you guys, you can turn this into where you have bullet points or not. You could also turn this into where you have numbers. And you can move the text back and forth. I will tell you that when you're trying to line up several lines together, edit up here at the top, copy, and then paste. When you have several like this, it is easier instead of having this be like in the middle. And let's say you're trying to get this lined up over here. And this one you see is already to the edge. It's harder to get them lined up. I'll grab a hold of this because this is in the middle of this square. So if this was in the middle of this square, it would be easier to line them up if you had these both justified to the left. Okay, you see how that helps you line them up. Of course, you could change the font on that again down to the font that you want. You would change the size of it, but that would help you be able to create. You would change this to a template. Okay, template presentation. So when you go back home, now then you have. Here's something else I'll just mention to you. Until this refreshes again, it'll look like you didn't actually change that, but we know that it's this. So sometimes you'll want to go back and forth and now then, let's see, is it updated? It's updated there. So now you can see you have your own collection of templates that all looks the same. And when you guys look at mine, I'll scroll through mine. All of the stuff that I have looks exactly the same because it's all in the same color palettes and it all goes very well together. So once you do a presentation or something like that, you can duplicate it. This was I was working on a social media post, and I liked the slides that I used for a presentation. So I duplicated the presentation slides. I'll go back and show you that quickly, and then we will wrap up here. We've been at this almost an hour, so I hope this has been helpful to you. And then I'm going to show you the template that I'm going to give you for you to be able to use. It's nice to make one copy, one master copy of all your presentations. So these are my presentation slides that are a master copy. Once you do that, all of your workbooks can be exactly the same. You can get a look here at this entire collection. I went through, I selected a presentation, master templates, and I changed all of this to my brands and to my colors so that from the very beginning, it matched. You can go through here and delete pages that you don't want to use. Okay, you can delete. I'm not going to delete these, but you can get it. Let's say you wanted to do a short presentation. You wanted all of the pages to be like this was your starting page, and then you just wanted to add a blank page. You could just add a blank page in between there. If you wanted to have white pages in between there, you could do that. One thing that I'll point out to you on this one is this has my logo on it. So if you copy the logo and you go to the second page and you paste, the logo shows up in the exact same spot. So if you wanted to do just blank pages, you could copy just the writing so that you had sort of a template here for writing. You could copy this, and this could be just blank slides that you did training on. So this might be your intro slide, your second slide. You could duplicate this. So all of your entire presentation could be just blank slides instead of the way that I have it with all of these various ones. All right, so you could go through here, delete, edit any of them that you want to. Okay, we're going to go back. And now, you guys, I want to share with you, let me double check my list and make sure that I have shown you everything else. Talk to you about consistent branding. Let me just tell you a few dead giveaways about not being professional. One is when things are too crowded. I mentioned that to you already, but I'll just touch on it again. If this text was all the way to the edge like this, that is too crowded. That does not look professional. It needs to have what we call breathing space to be able to, so less is always more when it comes to your graphics. Blurry images. If you upload an image into here, which this is how you do it, you go up to upload, you select something and upload it. There's the beautiful Jennifer Ritchie. If the image was blurry, then you do not want to use that. Now this picture, you guys can see, is too big for this box. So if you were going to use this picture of Jennifer, what we would want to do is make the rest of this smaller. And I will fix all of these things, put it back into shape again, line it up. We want to make this box here taller because we don't want to cut her picture off like that and have it just be that size. Now we've got it back to the size that we started with. All right. So you do that. Okay, so pretty pictures, breathing word, breathing space around the words. Try to do fewer words. This is too hard to read. This is too many words for this. That's too hard to read. That would be too crowded. So you actually want to delete some words here. Just know that there's too many words here. So you could have this be bigger and that it would still fit in the space, okay? Keep things very, very spacious. This is still too much copy for this. Very spacious, okay? Something along the lines of that. Let's see, the type is too small. Remember to duplicate, change the colors, resize. You create folders. A couple more things, you guys. There are folders that you can create to organize your stuff. Like when you work with me, you get templates for everything. I give you you have access to everything I have. So everything, you can take everything from me, change it, and it will all match and look consistent. So it's really done for you coaching things. But what you want to know is that when you move it to the folder, it doesn't actually move it off of this page. So it's a little bit confusing because like this right here is in a template. It's actually in a folder, excuse me, it's in a folder, but it's also showing on that home page. So just because you move it to a folder does not mean, see, this is right here. It's right here. Just because you've moved it to a folder does not mean that it is not going to stay on the home page right here where you would find it. So you actually can't get rid of all of this. Now, if you had some things right here that you did want to delete, you can delete it like this. Things don't move to the trash forever, but they can be deleted. All right, I'm going to share with you the template and we'll wrap it up. We're almost at an hour. The template that I'm going to give you for your coaching business. This is a template that I designed that you can send as a PDF to people that are interested in your coaching services. You could also add it to an email that you're sending attached as a PDF. You could be on a consultation call with somebody and they could be interested in lots of details. So you could open this up and you could make this bigger. And I could say to you like, all right, you guys, let me just share with you step by step about my coaching program. Let me get this to the right size so that it was full size. And I could go with you and I could say, all right, here's what my coaching includes. Here's a little story about me. This is for you. If you do this, this is what you get. Here's the pricing. Here's some client results. So I have set this up in a way, you guys, that you will take this template and use it and you will make a coaching brochure for yourself. Okay. You can look at all the pages here together. Again, you can delete or duplicate any pages that you want to, but let me run through the essentials of what is here. This is the intro page. What you find on the second page is sort of the title, the key part of why people are here. You're saying, hey, I'm telling you guys, you're somebody who wants help with your coaching business. You want more paid clients. Here's a small bio about me. Okay. This is letting people know, hey, I get you. Okay. Yours could be any other way, but I'd recommend that you follow my format. I write copy for people. I use StoryBrand copy method. And so I know that this copy works. This is a little bit more about me. I'm showing some empathy. I understand you. This introduces my program, which, by the way, you guys, is absolutely amazing. And I would love to invite you to have a conversation with me about that. You're letting them know this is for you. This is you telling them kind of what it's about, what it includes. Okay. Here is what is included. If you have lots of details, this is how I'm going to support you if you work with me. This is step-by-step office hours, the education vault, the weekly coaching, monthly private coaching, workshops, and so much more. I have a bonus right now where you can save $1,000 and get that whole template bundle that I showed you as part of this Canva stuff that we work on with my clients. You'll get all those, just like what you're getting today. This is sort of the sales page. Hey, enroll right now. You could have an entire page or 2 or 3 of client results. Testimonials are super important. Some of the ways that I do my brochures, they include lots of testimonials. And this is sort of the recap page. If you sent it, it's telling you to schedule a call. You guys, if you want to talk to me about my business coaching program, I want to talk to you, because if you are somebody who's unsure about how to get clients, maybe you're unsure about your branding, your marketing, your program, your offer, your pricing, all of those things. I do all of that. I'm a very hands-on coach. I tell you what to do. I show you what to do, just like this Canva workshop. Then go have a phone call with me. This is the way your brochure would be too. So you're invited to do that. Again, you would download this as a PDF. Okay, one last thing I want to mention. There's so many things here. This PDF print, if you guys ever want to print things, and I don't recommend that you print. I mean, it's going to be a rare circumstance where maybe you're at a networking event, you want to have a postcard that is on brand and you decide you're going to print it. Go right here and print. And one of the great things about this is that you can print very small amounts directly through Canva. That would be really the only thing that you're going to print. Otherwise, take advantage of the fact that we don't have to pay for printing. Just send everything as a PDF. All right, one last check on my sheet. Oh, one more thing I want to show you guys. One quick thing. I am going to make an Instagram post. Oh my goodness, I just thought of something else. I'm going to create a blank post. Promise, it's the last thing. I want to show you, if you do not have pictures for Instagram or for something and you just want to have a picture only, this is the most fun hack. This is a blank Instagram post. You go over here to photos. And again, if we just do the same thing, women, you can drag these over here. And now make this bigger. Okay, make this bigger. And this now becomes just a photo that you could use on Instagram. Instead of having to go buy photos from, let's say, Styled Stock Society or from somebody else like that, this is going to be just for you to download photos. Okay, so you could go right here. You could add a page, a blank page. This could be your next photo. You want to scoot this over here so it's right centered in. Okay, we could add a page, This could be, remember, you're going to want to have these be on brand in your colors so that you have things that all match. If you like this photo right here, you could actually find out who, you could actually find out, my goodness, sorry guys, you could actually find out who this photo was done by. This photo right here, I realize I'm on a different photo, is done by this one. And you could actually view more pictures from that particular one. So if you were trying to get some that sort of matched, like look here, this photo is another version of this. So now you have two photos from the same thing. One of the benefits of having photos from the same photographer is typically the style of the photography matches. So let's say we want to do this one right here instead. Now, when you look at those photos, all three together, they have the same sort of editing style. The photo color saturation is all similar. So that's a way for you to have blank ones. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you for sticking with me for an entire hour. Grab the download for the coaching brochure. Make your own brochure for your own business. If you guys have any questions at all, you are welcome to reach out to me, Debbie@DebbieShadid.com. That is my email address. You're welcome to head over there too and schedule a time to talk. And if you guys are ready to grow your business and you want somebody to tell you what to do and how to do it, you want me to help you with your copy, to really be able to get you from here to here much faster, then I would love to talk to you about your business. I do have the special that's in the brochure. You're welcome to look at the brochure and see all that I have to offer. All right, have an amazing day and go do some beautiful Canva graphics to make sure that your curb appeal is super great. You want to be the house on the street. You want to be the coach on the street that is so intriguing that somebody says, I don't care what it costs, I want to work with her. And you do that by having incredibly beautiful, consistent, upscale looking branding. All right, have an amazing day. Until next time, bye-bye.